Now if you change your DNS settings on your Nintendo Switch to access the unofficial internet browser on here, then you can go onto a website that does HTML games, and then you will be able to play some very basic games on your Nintendo Switch. So let's go to play. This is Mrs. Tapman. It's basically a copy of Pac-Man, and I'm going to be using the buttons here to move her around the screen. So the games work perfectly well. There we go. Right, this game is called Hinder, and this is on Game Mix. There's quite a few games on Game Mix, and some of them are okay. This one here is actually really addictive. So basically you've got to get these 3 squares onto these 3 blocks, and you're allowed to progress through to the next level. But the problem is there's only a certain sequence that will allow you to do this, and then if you get it wrong you've got to press B to reload and do it again. Now believe it or not, this has taken me quite a few goes to be able to do this. I've been on it for about 20 minutes. There we go, so I'm going to do it now, you see, and they light up when you put them on there. There we go, and now I'm allowed to go through here. To change the player order, it's really easy. So at the moment this is player 1 and this one here is player 8. If you have a look up here you can see the grey Joy-Con is player 1 and the blue Joy-Con is player 8. To change them all we have to do is just tap the sync button to turn them off. So I'm just going to tap that one there, and now I'm going to tap that one there, so they're both off. Now I'm just going to simply turn this one back on first. So just hit one of the buttons and this will now jump to player 1, and you can see now it's changed to the blue one there. I don't know if you can just make that out on my screen. And if we want this one to be player 8, again just tap one of the buttons. There we go, and now that one is player 8. Again, if I wanted to do the same with this one, which is currently player 2, and the Pro Controller, which is currently player 6, you just tap the sync button until it goes off, and tap the sync button here, and now put this one on first because we want this to be player 2. Player 2, player 6. Google Maps. And Street View. And of course the same in dock mode. To go into recovery mode we need to fully shut down the Nintendo Switch, so press and hold the power button and then go to power options and go to power off. Then when it's fully closed down what we want to do is we want to press and hold the plus and the minus on the volume at the same time. So I'm going to hold them both down now with one finger and I'm just going to tap the power button. So just tap the power button. Keep your finger down on the plus and minus, still holding it. and you will see now I can let go. That's brought up the recovery mode for update system, restore factory settings without deleting saved data, or restore factory settings. And if you want to get out of that again, you can just simply turn the Nintendo Switch off, and then when you go to turn it on again, it's going to be normal. If you travel a lot with your Nintendo Switch, you might find that bringing a dock might be a little bit bulky. So now you do have an alternative. If you look on Amazon, you will find various adapters similar to this one here. They cost between 30 to 40 UK pounds, and when you connect up your HDMI cable and your AC adapter into this one here, it will take the place of the dock. So when I plug it into the Switch there, you will see in a few seconds it will come up on the TV. There we go. A USB-C extension cable will also connect your Nintendo Switch to the dock in case you wanted to hide your equipment out of the way. The extension cable will carry the picture, the sound, and also charge the Nintendo Switch at the same time. You might not have had a chance yet to see the web browser on the Nintendo Switch because it hasn't actually been released yet. But if you look at it here, you can see that it does look really nice on that little screen. And it feels nice and responsive. You can move around either by using the left analog stick or of course the touch screen as well. And remember, it will also work in dock mode. There you go, so now you've got a better idea of what it's going to be like when they eventually release it. If you want to find out how many hours you've been playing a particular game, so for example if I want to know how many hours I've put into King Oddball, all I've got to do is go to my particular icon on the top left, click on it, and then find the game that you want to know about, and it will say there, King Oddball, played for 5 hours or more. If you're not keen on the Joy-Con grip, maybe because of the way it feels, or perhaps because it's quite bulky and it's hard to transport, then a lot of people like to separate these two parts here. It's very easy to do, but you do need to have a tri-wing screwdriver and also a Phillips screwdriver for the inside screws. And then, if you like playing in tabletop mode, you don't have to have the Joy-Con separate like this. You can just plug them into here, and then you've got your own little mini controller like that, which is quite nice to play with. And then when it comes to transporting it, it will fit nicely into your case without taking up very much room at all. Now you're probably already aware that you can use an Ethernet adapter on your Nintendo Switch when it's in docked mode, so you can plug this into the dock. But let's say if you wanted a wired connection in handheld mode because you were doing some multiplayer and you wanted a good connection. Well, in which case then you can actually plug this LAN adapter straight into a USB-C on-the-go cable, and then you would have a wired connection straight into your actual Nintendo Switch. And if you have a look up there, you can see that that is the connection symbol for the wired connection. And if I was to unplug that, it will go over to Wi-Fi and then plug it back in again, and you will see it will jump in a few seconds back to LAN. There you go. To change the look of the Nintendo Switch, you can choose between a black theme and a white theme. At the moment this is black. If you want to change it to white, go to System Settings, go down to Themes, and then go Basic White, and now that will be the white version. So you can actually get audio through the USB port on the Nintendo Switch itself, or when you dock it via a USB port on the actual dock. Now if we're using the Switch, we have to use a USB-C on-the-go cable. If we're plugging it straight into the dock, then we don't have to use this cable. But let me just show you this working here. Now in this setup it's going to be a bit silly because this has a big long fly lead on it, and also this has a big fly lead on it as well. If you were going to use this in real life, then you would just get a very small USB-C on-the-go cable, and you would just get a very small USB sound card that plugs straight in, and then you wouldn't have this all dangling out of your Switch. But if you have a look now, you can see at the moment the sound is coming through the Switch. But now when I plug it into here, you're going to see it will say USB audio up the top. USB audio, and now The sound now is actually coming through these headphones here. Now you might be wondering, why on earth would you want to do this? Well, pretend now if your headphone jack was playing up, then you could just get a very small setup that you plug into here and you could still use your wired headphones. Or what you can do is you can plug in wireless headphones with a USB dongle with them. So for example, some of the Sony PlayStation ones have the wireless headphones with a USB dongle, so you could just plug that straight into here via the USB-C cable or straight into the dock, and then you've got wireless headphones working.